She cheated on me with 4 men, including a pastor. I stayed silent and planned the perfect revenge. My wife and I have been together for 7 years, and she's 29 now. In mid-July, I found out she'd been cheating on me with one of her longtime friends. I'd started getting suspicious, something just felt off, so I finally gave in and looked through her phone. That's when I saw the messages between them. They were from the day after what I now call D-Day. The texts were full of graphic talk about how amazing their sex was, little I love you messages, and even them laughing about a small fight she and I had. She told him exactly what I said, and they joked about it like I was some kind of clown. At the time, I had tried to talk to her, gently even, about how maybe we were just entering a different phase of our marriage, one where things settle down a bit, where we might not feel butterflies all the time, but that doesn't mean we've fallen out of love. I told her sometimes that comfort can feel a little dull, but it's part of building a life together. She didn't buy it. She said we drifted apart, even though we were still sharing long conversations, having a decent sex life, and spending almost every day together. The worst part is, she doesn't even know that I know. I haven't confronted her yet. I've already spoken to a lawyer and the divorce papers are being drawn up. And just for context, this isn't the first time she's done this. The first time was while we were still dating. We broke up for 6 months, worked things out, and eventually got married. But I always told her, if she ever cheated again, that'd be it. For 6 years, we didn't have any issues, at least nothing like this. But about a year ago, I noticed she started pulling away. She wouldn't return hugs. She just stopped accepting affection from me. Looking back, I guess that growing distance eventually led to her cheating again. It's been 3 weeks now since I found out, and I've been keeping my head down, waiting on the legal stuff before I say anything. At first, it was obvious she wasn't really into me anymore. But lately, this past week especially, she's been acting different. Like maybe she's feeling guilty. She's been doing little things around the house, almost like she's trying to make up for it. She'll wash the dishes, clean, cook all without asking for help, like she's punishing herself. But the thing is, we still haven't talked about any of it. In my heart, she betrayed me in the deepest way, and I honestly don't think I'll ever be able to trust her again. I don't believe someone who loves you could cause this much pain. Financially, we're okay, but it hasn't been easy. She didn't want to work for years. She's only been employed for the past year at a minimum wage, part-time job, which barely covers her own bills. Meanwhile, I've been the one keeping us afloat, and I can't help but feel like I'm carrying everything alone. Even with all that, I still care about her. I value the life we built. And yeah, I worry about her. I know how fragile she can be, and I wouldn't be surprised if this divorce pushed her into depression. But I can't stay just because I'm worried about how she'll take it. The only path forward is to end things, but I'm scared about what comes next, the heartbreak, the loneliness, all of it. A part of me even wishes she'd just leave happily with the guy she cheated with. Would make it easier, I think. But there's no avoiding it. I have to divorce her. I'm just not looking forward to what comes after. Update. I still haven't confronted her yet, but I've been getting things in place behind the scenes. I managed to pull a full log of her messages with the guy she's been cheating with, and my God, she's way worse than I thought. Turns out, the affair with this current guy didn't start in July like I'd originally believed. It actually began back in May. And before that? From March through April, she had another affair. That one was with a guy who was, no joke, an addict, and she was sleeping with him without protection. So now we're up to 4 different guys she's been with. Now, about her current affair partner, he's a real piece of work. She lied to him about our relationship to win his sympathy. Told him I insult her and act like a man-child, none of which is remotely true. He used that as an excuse to start manipulating her. He filled her head with ideas that she deserved better, that I was a terrible husband, and even claimed to know how I'd react to everything she said. This guy's never met me, but he acts like he's some relationship guru. He's actually a church minister. Can you believe that? He brags about mentoring a teen group and helping them grow closer to God. One time, he even told her how he helped a teenage boy break up with his girlfriend, then comforted the girl when she became suicidal. Like he's proud of that. It's straight-up manipulation, and she fell for it completely. He calls our home prison and refers to me as the idiot, all while I'm the one who hugs her, pays the bills, and makes her feel loved. I've always made her a priority, even when things got hard. Now, I'll be honest, there was a time when I got pretty frustrated with her lack of effort. I'm someone who believes in self-growth. I think people should be striving to better themselves, especially in a marriage. But she's done the opposite. Over the past 10 years, she gained a lot of weight, dropped out of college, and didn't work for 4 straight years. During that time, I covered her student loans and racked up a ton of credit card debt trying to keep us going. I asked her week after week to find a job, even offered to pay for her to go back to school, study anything she wanted, but she never followed through. After a few years of trying to gently encourage her, I'll admit I got fed up. I started criticizing her, and sometimes I wasn't very nice about it. That was wrong of me, and I've since stopped. I quit being critical a few years ago, way before any of these affairs started. Funny thing is, she still loved me back when I was being harsh. But now that I've stopped? Now that I'm kind and calm? That's when she stopped loving me. My criticism didn't come from hate. It came from wanting an equal partner. I wanted her to grow so that we could truly lean on each other like a team. But she never wanted that. She leaned on me for everything. And now that I'm in school and finally need her support, she's fallen apart. Instead of stepping up, she checked out, had affairs, built up resentment, and never once tried to work through things with me. Whenever she has an issue with me, she doesn't bring it up to me. Instead, she runs to her affair partner, and he tells her what he thinks I'd say. She even told her mom about the affair, hoping to get her on her side by painting me as the bad guy. But her mom didn't buy it. She saw right through the lies. That made my wife furious. She vented to the affair partner again, and of course, he jumped in to defend her and twisted the situation so it sounded like her mom was the one being unreasonable. What she's really doing is scrambling for anyone to justify the crap she's pulled. Deep down, she knows what she did is wrong, but instead of owning it, she covers her shame by convincing herself that I'm the villain. The truth is, she's got next to no emotional awareness. She barely even notices what's going on with me. Meanwhile, I can read her like a book. She has no clue who I've become because she's still stuck on the guy I used to be years ago. The irony is, I've grown a lot since then, but she never saw any of it. She won't leave me, and I know exactly why. She knows she's got it easy with me. She told the affair partner that if she walks away from this marriage, she's got nothing left. And yeah, I'm a full-time student now, so I don't have as much time or attention to give her like I used to. I think that's what pushed her over the edge. The second anything else took priority over her, she completely unraveled. That's how we got here. So right now, I'm sitting here, knowing everything. I've read the entire ugly history of her cheating, and she's still clueless that I'm aware of it. The divorce papers are supposed to come on Wednesday, and I'm literally counting down the minutes until I can detonate the life we used to have. I was planning on being civil about it, but after seeing how deep the lies and manipulation go, I just want to burn it all down. I want her to understand just how messed up all of this is. I actually look forward to the confrontation now. I want to read her own texts back to her and watch her squirm. I want to show her how her so-called relationship coach of an affair partner manipulated her every step of the way. I want her to see the whole truth laid bare. On top of all this, there's one more complication. We have a dog. She's absolutely obsessed with him, treats him like he's her child. I know for a fact she'd fight tooth and nail to keep him, even if it means dragging things into court. And neither of us can afford a $30,000 legal battle. So here I am, trying to figure out how to keep my dog without going broke. My current plan is to have the divorce papers served and move out with my stuff and the dog on the same day, before she even knows what hit her. Only problem is, I live at school, and I have to be back there in September, so it's all a tight window. There's so much more to the story, but just for context, her texts with the affair partner alone span over 100 pages. What I shared here is already heavily condensed. Update 2. Okay, so I jumped the gun a bit with that 3-day countdown. The divorce papers ended up taking longer than I expected. But now I've got them, and the pieces are finally coming together. I've set the plan. She's going to be served a week from today. Of course, life has a way of throwing curveballs, so we'll see how smoothly it actually goes. Incredibly, she still has no clue. It's been over a month since I discovered everything, and I've been living under the same roof with her like nothing happened. She's completely in the dark. I've watched her texting him in plain sight. At this point, I could have caught her red-handed 15 different times. She didn't even bother to change her phone password. And she still refers to him like he's just some old buddy. It's maddening. There are moments where it gets hard to keep my cool. Listening to her talk about him like nothing's going on really tests my patience. And sometimes I wonder if keeping this all secret until I strike is morally wrong. Not wrong to her, but wrong for me, like it goes against the kind of person I want to be. I try to remind myself why I'm doing it. But some days, it feels like I'm living in a surreal dream. We actually had a pretty big argument about our relationship a week ago. During that fight, I was able to call her out on a lot of her bad behavior without giving away that I know about the affairs. I told her straight up that she doesn't love me anymore and hasn't made me feel important in a long time. I've been using that fight as a cover ever since. Now, when I act cold or distant, she just assumes it's because we haven't worked through that argument yet. The truth is, I was the only one holding this relationship together. But now that I know the full truth, I've got no reason left to try. Our connection has completely unraveled. I explained all of this during the fight, and I think something finally clicked for her. Since then, it seems like she's been pulling away from her affair partner and trying to choose me instead. But honestly, that's ridiculous. She already made the choice years ago when we said our vows. There shouldn't be a choice now. She's been trying to show more effort, being affectionate, starting conversations, wanting to patch things up, but it's too late. Way too late. Nothing she does now can undo the mess she created. She made her bed, and now she has to lie in it. This whole thing started because she wasn't the center of my universe anymore. Once my attention was divided even for something like school, she spiraled. What's really ironic is, the guys she cheats with don't treat her like a top priority either. One ghosted her for weeks. The other one, this relationship coach pastor, has an ex-wife and a kid, and he flat out told her that his kid and ex will always come first. He's even been seen out in public with other women, but none of that seems to matter to her. She's okay being second or third to them. Yet she couldn't handle me needing to focus on my future for a while. Anyway, after our fight, she decided she needed space and said she'd go stay with her parents for a couple of weeks to clear her head. That actually works out great for me. Now I don't have to worry about her refusing to leave or doing something crazy when she finds out. She already has plans to come back home, but little does she know, the day after she arrives at her parents', she'll be getting served with divorce papers. So now I've got just one more week to go. I'm counting the days. As much as I want this to be over, it's going to be heartbreaking for one big reason: the dog. He and I are incredibly close, and I know this week will be the last time I see him. That part really tears me up. I've come to terms with losing her, but losing him? That's going to hurt. There are some specific reasons I can't really go into, but the truth is, keeping the dog just isn't possible for me. It's heartbreaking, honestly. I'm going to miss him more than I can put into words. Update 3. This past month has felt like a year. I came so close to calling her out, so many times the words were right there on the tip of my tongue. But I held back. Blowing up too soon would have made everything way harder for me in the long run. So I poured that frustration into the gym, lawyered up, got the divorce papers drafted, collected over 450 pages of explicit messages, opened a new debit account, moved funds, and convinced her to go stay at her parents' place for a bit. Every single piece fell into place exactly the way I planned it. I even predicted how she and her family would react. The moment I got word the papers had been served, I froze the credit card that had my name on it and transferred half of our joint funds into the new account. She had left just the day before with her mom. I hugged her goodbye and simply said, "Take care of yourself." She said okay, like everything was normal. This morning, a process server showed up at her parents' house and handed her the divorce papers. She never saw it coming. Her mom called me, completely stunned, asking what the hell was going on. I had to give her the rundown, not all the ugly details, but enough to make it clear. And here's the ridiculous part: even now, her mom is stepping in to fix things for her. I can't even have a private conversation with my own wife because her mother is acting as her mouthpiece. She's 29 years old, and still letting her mom speak and make decisions for her. I had always gotten along with my mother-in-law. She even encouraged my wife to put in effort to fix our marriage. But now, this is just pathetic. I kept things respectful, stayed calm, didn't let my emotions take over. But believe me, I had to bite my tongue hard. When the topic of getting my wife's belongings came up, her mom said something that made my blood boil. She basically implied I should be the one to pack everything up, rent a car, and drive it 4 hours to deliver it to them. And what are we even talking about here? A bunch of t-shirts and lotion bottles. So I told her plainly, that's not my responsibility. She shot back with, "If you respect me like you say you do, you'll do me this favor." I swear, the manipulation never stops. I replied, "That has nothing to do with this situation. And I could just as easily say the same thing to you. Please don't try to manipulate me again. I've shown you a great deal of respect already by keeping a lot of things off the table. Because truth be told, I could take this to court. I have rock-solid proof of infidelity. It would cost us both a lot of time and money. I could accuse her of stealing the dog. I could expose her affair partner to his employer, he's a youth pastor, and trust me, what I've got on him would end his career. But I'd been trying to keep things simple and affordable for everyone involved. Eventually, her mom backed off and agreed they'd come pick up the stuff themselves. Now, I'm in a holding pattern, waiting to see what they'll do next. I'm guessing they're trying to hire a lawyer, probably gearing up to contest dog ownership, which, believe it or not, is the biggest issue right now. And weirdly, no one's mentioned it yet. Her mom is probably comforting her, telling her everything's okay. Telling her that having multiple affairs, badmouthing me whenever she gets the chance, and still expecting me to love and welcome her home each night is totally normal. Someone on a forum mentioned she might have borderline personality disorder based on some of her behavior. Honestly, that wouldn't surprise me. Is it weird they're so fixated on a few t-shirts right now? Yeah, it is. Is it bizarre that I can't even have an adult conversation with my wife about any of this? Absolutely. Should I stop dealing with her mom altogether? Maybe. At this point, I don't know what's worse, that she might be mentally unstable, or that I have to keep pretending everything's fine while they act like I'm the villain. Do I let them come grab her stuff? I don't even want to deal with it. I hate all of this. I've been completely honest and upfront, and they're still trying to play games. I hate that to them. I was always just the guy who paid the bills. The easy mark. I hate that I can't even talk to my wife like an adult. I hate that her mom lied to me about not knowing she was cheating. I hate that when I'm walking through the grocery store and I pass the ice cream, I still instinctively think, which one would she want? But what I hate most is that even after everything, they still see me as the bad guy. Update 4. It's been 2 years since the divorce now, and I've seen some folks asking how everything turned out. In short, things turned out pretty well. The breakup was clean. We had zero communication after the divorce. No drama. No lingering problems. We both moved on, just like that. Honestly, it felt less like a divorce and more like an incredibly expensive breakup. The one thing that still stings is giving up my dog. That was the hardest part, by far. But from what I've heard, he's still doing great and living happily with her. After the divorce, I graduated, landed a good job, and moved. She stayed in her parents' guest bedroom and, far as I know, never moved out. She got a low-paying job and didn't do much else. I heard she started dating someone, but I only know that because she blocked me on everything even though I never said a single word to her. As for me, I dated around a bit. Met someone incredibly special, someone who showed me a kind of love I didn't even know was possible. Unfortunately, I lost her too. So now I'm single again, but doing great in the dating world. Every woman I've met since the divorce has been miles ahead of my ex in terms of maturity and kindness. Do I want to find love again? Absolutely. I'd love to get back with that recent girlfriend. But life moves on. I've got a fantastic job now, I'm financially solid, and I'm living a life I'm proud of. Meanwhile, she's in her 30s, still living with her retired parents, going nowhere. So yeah, I think it's safe to say I came out on top and got through it mostly unscathed. Update 5. It's been 4 years since I found out about my ex-wife's string of secret affairs. She got away with it for so long because I respected her privacy. I was focused on my studies, grinding through a tough degree at an Ivy League school, while also paying all the rent, covering food, bills, and even both our student loans. A lot of the anger and confusion I went through, what most people posting here are probably feeling right now, has faded. I don't care about my ex-wife at all anymore. Truth is, I care more about a few recent exes who showed me actual kindness. That's what sticks with me now. Even after all this time, there's still one thing I haven't fully figured out: why someone would cheat when they're with a partner who's clearly out of their league. Now, I didn't see it back then, but it's something people have pointed out to me again and again, sometimes in passing and sometimes pretty directly. Why she did what she did will probably always be a mystery to me. I mean, I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but I'm above average in looks, physically fit, mentally stable, well-educated, and charismatic enough to hold a room when I need to. I was always there, home every night, spending my free time with her. We shared a lot in common, got along well, and on paper, it seemed like we had everything going for us. Of course, relationships are about more than checkboxes. There are all kinds of emotional and psychological reasons people do the things they do. Still, every once in a while, I catch myself thinking about it, wondering what went wrong. Then I chuckle, shake my head, and get back to living my life. Since then, I've dated some wonderful women. Each one, in her own way, showed me just how low the bar was with my ex-wife. She was one of the first people I dated back in high school, so I didn't have much to compare to back then. But now, I see it clearly. And those guys she risked everything for, the ones she poured her heart out to, claiming undying love? Every last one of them is long gone. Not a single one stuck around. Now here I am, 4 years later, with that chapter of my life firmly behind me. I rebuilt everything from the ground up. Next week marks 2 years with my girlfriend, a truly wonderful woman. She's kind, smart, loving, and absolutely beautiful. She's also got a solid career that she's great at and proud of. We live in a cozy apartment by the river, with a goofy dog that keeps us laughing. My career is thriving, my finances are solid, and I've reached a level of comfort that lands me squarely in the upper middle class bracket. No debt. No alimony. No contact with the past. Once in a while, my mind drifts back to her. And I realize I don't hate her. I don't wish her harm, but I don't really wish her well either. I just don't care anymore. Okay, maybe part of me hopes things didn't turn out all that great for her. But even that's fading. What matters is this: I'm happy. Truly, deeply happy. And I'm better off because I made the choice to walk away. So if you're reading this and you're stuck in something awful, trying to hold it together just to get through the day, hear me when I say this: you will make it. There's hope on the other side of the storm. Trust yourself. You're stronger than you think. And one day, you'll look back and realize just how far you've come.